want to thank you all for joining me for this edition of A Look Back. I'm Mike, and wow, what a freaking week we have had. It's been kind of crazy. I started to do this show back on Monday, and some reason or another had some audio problems, but as you can see, we've actually got this thing lined out, and I think we're ready to kick it into overdrive. Last week we suffered some losses with the passing of Abe Jacobs, Terry Funk, Bray Wyatt. You know, WWE and AEW done a great job paying tribute to those two. We had the NWA having their 75th anniversary over a 2-day span, Saturday and Sunday. Pikeville's Comic Con and Toy Convention took place on the 26th, and AEW had their all-in pay-per-view at Wembley Stadium, and wow, was that a doozy. We will talk about that and a whole lot more. We'll play a look back with Mike Trivia. Going to talk a little bit about the audio problems we had first out. Like I said, started to do this thing on Tuesday, and unfortunately, the system that I was running crapped itself out. I got the recording home after about 2 hours of sitting down and trying to get it through, and the audio just sounded like complete shit, and I mean, I'm just being honest about it. So what do? I got on Amazon, I ordered up some new audio equipment, got an Audio Pro microphone, can't remember what the name of the headphones are, but I'll put that somewhere in the comments. One Audio. Oneodio. One Audio. Yeah, pretty good set of headphones. Just a great little setup that I've got right now. We're trying it out. Of course, there's some quirks that go along with it. I'm trying to figure this thing out as I go. But, like I said, one day at a time, one page at a time. First, we'll talk about the passings of Abe Jacobs, oldest wrestler. He was born in New Zealand on April 18th, 1928. He died on August 21st, 2023 at the age of 95. He's 6'3", 230 pounds, billed from Wellington, New Zealand. He was trained by the Zebra Kid. Debuted in 1958, retired in 1981, the year I was born. Many high-profile matches with the great Lou Thesz, Gene Kiniski, Buddy Rogers, Dick Hutton, and Pat O'Connor. He died in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he and his wife lived. It's a terrible passing. I hate to see that, but like I said, Abe Jacobs, 95 years old. Then on August 23rd, Terry Funk passed away. Of course, Terry Funk, born June 30th, 1944. His father, Dory Funk Sr., his brother, Dory Funk Jr. Terry and Dory Jr. were the only brothers to ever hold the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. That is something that has not been duplicated since. He started working in professional wrestling in 1965 for his father, Dory Sr., in West Texas Sports Promotion that they had ran in Amarillo, Texas. His debut match was against Sputnik Monroe on December 9th of 1965. So you think about it, Terry Funk worked the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and the 2010s. He worked over 6 decades. He spanned 6 decades in the wrestling business. Captured the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship from Jack Briscoe in 1975 and held that baby for 14 months. That was the 10 pounds of gold version. I actually wish that I could have got Terry to sign mine, but unfortunately, time did not allow for that. Feuded with Jerry the King Lawler, Dusty Rhodes, The Sheik, Abdullah the Butcher, Stan Hansen, Bruiser Brody, Nature Boy Ric Flair, Mick Foley, and many more. You know, his matches with Ric Flair were phenomenal. They could work together as well as any two people I ever saw. His matches with Foley, they developed a hell of a friendship after all those matches that they had, whether it was ECW or wherever that they wrestled. He wrestled for, of course, his father in Amarillo, but he was also with the NWA, of course, WCW, WWF, and WWE. You know, I talk to a lot of people, and they talk about Terry Funk, and they tell me the first memory they have of him is Chainsaw Charlie, you know, when he come out of the box wielding a chainsaw. But, you know, every time he done that little spin as Chainsaw Charlie, we knew it was Terry Funk, and the fans would actually chant Terry. He also worked for NWA, TNA, Ring of Honor, MLW, Smoky Mountain Wrestling. He wrestled over in Japan for Baba. And if it weren't for Terry Funk, people, I'm going to tell you right now, ECW would have never gotten off the map or has been as big as it was. Terry was also an actor. He had many roles, including the role in Paradise Alley, Over the Top in 1987. In 1989, he was in Roadhouse. In 1999, he was in the documentary Beyond the Map, where he played himself, and had an unaccredited role as a fan in 2004 in Friday Night Lights. You know, like I said, it's just terrible that Terry Funk has passed away. Sadly, we only have 3 living NWA champions from what I like to call the territory era, that being Terry's brother Dory Funk Jr., Nature Boy Ric Flair, and Wildfire Tommy Rich. I really and honestly hope that those guys are in great health. I look forward to seeing some of them as soon as I can. And on to the passing of Bray Wyatt. That one there, I was on my way, I never will forget this. I was on my way out to my vehicle, and I just so happened to glance down at my phone, and there it was. Bray Wyatt passed away. I messaged a buddy of mine, King Cantrell, and I said, this can't be real. I mean, it's just heartbreaking for me. And unfortunately, he did. Died of a heart attack on August 24th, 2023. He's 36 years of age. Of course, Bray Wyatt, the grandson of Blackjack Mulligan, the son of Mike Rotunda, nephew of Barry and Kendall Windham, and the brother of Bo Dallas. He was also the fiance of ring announcer JoJo Offerman. She's the daughter of baseball player Jose Offerman. He debuted in February 9th, 2009 in FCW using the name Alex Rotunda, paying tribute to his father, and joined NXT in 2010 under the name of Husky Harris. That was the name he actually come into WWE's main roster the first go-round with the Nexus. He debuted with the Wyatt family a couple years later. Of course, Bray Wyatt, WWE Champion, WWE Universal Champion, WWE Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions. You know, like I said, it's just been a hard week. The takeaway of that being the passing of Abe Jacobs, the oldest wrestler. Of course, it now falls to Bill Mercer. Terry Funk's storied career, he always said that he always wanted to wrestle from the time he could remember, and I believe Terry Funk lived that dream. And Bray Wyatt, you know, he had only begun. I believe there are a few people in this world that had the gift that Bray Wyatt had, whether you liked his character or not. Excuse me. It was almost amazing how he could talk to people. When he actually done one of those last promos and he was almost talking as himself, as Wyndham Rotunda, it just really hit home with me. And my heart and prayers go out to the families of Abe Jacobs, Terry Funk, and Bray Wyatt. Guys, let's play a look back with Mike Trivia. Today's question: what wrestler replaced an injured Arn Anderson at WrestleWar 91 in the War Games match? We'll have the answer later on in the show. If you would like to submit a question for a look back with Mike Trivia, you can do so on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere, any social media you can find. If you can find me, it's ALBW Mike. I'll put the link right there somewhere. Again, look forward to hearing your questions. Last Friday's SmackDown was something else. Got to watch that one. It's a tribute to Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. The show was opened. All the superstars on the stage, and if you noticed, there was one additional, the return of Eric Rowan. I know Eric Rowan, I don't believe he's under contract with WWE, but I think that was a hellacious thing for WWE to do, to have him there to pay his respect to the late Bray Wyatt. There's a picture floating around on Facebook, Instagram, I think I've seen it on Twitter too, of Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan sharing an embrace on the stage. You know, it's very sad, very traumatic that we've lost Bray Wyatt at such a young age. The first match up was Rey Mysterio defending his United States Championship against Grayson Waller, and Rey Mysterio victorious in that one. Io Sky defended her WWE Women's Championship against Zelina Vega. That was a pretty good match. I've got to say, I'm beginning to like Zelina Vega a little more and more. I don't know what it is, but I think she's coming into her own. She's more mellowed down, more subdued, and I think it plays more to the crowd. Io Sky, of course, victorious in that match. Then you had Cody Rhodes come out and give a little talk to the fans. He talked about when he was a child walking through the airport and somebody screaming out, "Dusty Rhodes, an egg-sucking dog." And he looked around and finally caught a glimpse of the person singing, hollering it at him, and it was Terry Funk. Cody was worried if he couldn't say egg-sucking dog on TV. I'll tell you what, Cody, if you can't say egg-sucking dog, you can't say nothing on TV anymore with what's out there. It is what it is. But he announced the next match on the card would be a Terry Funk street fight, pitting the Street Profits against the Brawling Brutes. Now, guys, I watched that match. I'm not going to criticize it because of what it was meant to do, to pay tribute to the late, great Terry Funk, but it is what it is. And in the main event, you had LA Knight beating Finn Balor. Of course, Finn Balor being the Fiend's first opponent, and LA Knight being the Fiend's last opponent. Pikeville's Comic and Toy Convention, everybody. I was there. Great turnout. Everybody that I saw. Run into Bobby Blaze while I was there from Smoky Mountain Wrestling. He's doing good, looking good. Talked to Jimmy, the Mouth of the South Heart. Great to see him. Jimmy's just always glad to see somebody. It was great to see Jimmy, and I'll tell you what, when I turn 79 years old, I hope I look that freaking good. Got to bump into Tyler Mane. Of course, he was Sabretooth in X-Men. He was Michael Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. And he was also Big Sky in WCW. I brought one of those pictures of him as Big Sky. And when he got a hold of that, he showed it to everybody that was there that he could show it to. Because believe it or not, he didn't bring any of his own wrestling photos, which was kind of sad, but hey. I'm glad that I got to remind him of a little bit of what he used to do, and when I remembered him in 1993 at the Fall Brawl. Got to meet Eric Bischoff. Of course, guys, I'll tell you something. I'll be the first to say it. I'm not the hugest NWO fan. I don't like the whole Too Sweet thing, and that's all well and good, but it just wasn't my thing, not my time in wrestling. I was more a territories person. I did like Eric Bischoff as an announcer and as a commentator. I don't think you could really beat him, but it was good meeting Eric Bischoff. Great seeing everybody. Earl's guys at Time Warp done a great job putting things together for that one. You couldn't really ask for more. It was just a phenomenal experience to be there at the Pikeville Comic and Toy Convention. The NWA's 75th anniversary show in St. Louis, Missouri, where it all began for the NWA. It was a 2-night special, actually. It was some pretty interesting things going on. Robert Anthony defeating Magic Jake Dumas by pinfall. Daisy Kill and Talus defeating the Fixers. Zion with Austin Idol defeating Jordan Clearwater by submission. Jack Cartwheel defeated Alex Taylor. Eric Jackson, Kale Laxamana, and Matt Vine by pinfall in the Jubilee Jamboree match for an NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Max the Impaler defeated Kenzie Page by pinfall in a singles match for the NWA World Women's Television Championship. Of course, Max the Impaler, the new NWA World's Women's Television Champion. Thrillbilly Silas Mason defeated J.R. Kratos and Odinson in a 3-way match for the vacant NWA National Heavyweight Championship. Joe Alonzo defeated Homicide by pinfall in a no disqualification match. The Brothers of Construction defeated Magnum Muscle by pinfall. Colby Corino defeated Kerry Morton by pinfall in a singles match to win the NWA World's Junior Heavyweight Championship. And I'll tell you something right now. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't think we've seen the last of Kerry Morton by a long shot. I think he's got bigger fish in the pan to fry, and they are at least 10 pounds or better. Guys, Jax Dane defeated Tim Storm by referee stoppage in a no disqualification match. You know, I worry a lot about Tim Storm getting out there and doing this stuff, but hey, you know, he feels he's able to. I say, who's to stop him? Kenzie Page won by eliminating Allison Kay in the Burke Invitational Gauntlet to win a shot at the NWA World Women's Championship. Matt Cardona defeated Ricky Morton by pinfall. Blunt Force Trauma defeated La Rebellion in a tag team match for the World Tag Team Championship. And Camille defeated Natalia Markova by pinfall in a no limits match for the NWA World's Women's Championship. You know, Camille holding that belt for 817 days. You got to give her some credit, folks. Then on night 2, Jordan Clearwater won by eliminating Zion in the Austin Idol National Championship for an NWA National Heavyweight Championship match later on in the show. Natalia Markova defeated Taylor Rising in a singles match. Talus and Daisy Kill defeated the Country Gentlemen in a tag team match for the NWA United States Tag Team Championship. Thomas Latimer defeated Chris Adonis by submission in a singles match for the NWA World Television Championship. Since Latimer retained that title, he now has the chance to invoke the Lucky 7 rule to challenge for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. Pretty Empowered defeated M95 in a tag team match for the NWA World's Women's Tag Team Championship. And Colby Corino defeated Jack Cartwheel in a singles match for his newly won NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship. Max the Impaler defeated Ruthie J in a singles match for her newly won NWA World Television Championship. And La Rebellion defeated the Brothers of Construction by pinfall in a tag team match. Kerry Morton defeated Matt Cardona by pinfall. Thrillbilly Silas Mason defeated Jordan Clearwater by pinfall. Blunt Force Trauma defeated Knox and Murdoch in a tag team match for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Kenzie Page defeated Camille to end her streak as NWA World Women's Champion, and EC3 defeated Tyrus by submission in a bull rope match for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. And since Tyrus lost, he has to retire from in-ring competition. What a match, what a card. NWA is not disappointing. I do not think that they are getting the credit they deserve. I think Billy Corgan is doing a great job with that promotion. And I think the NWA is something to watch. All Elite Wrestling had their All In pay-per-view at the Wembley Stadium in London, England. The pre-show, MJF and Adam Cole defeated Aussie Open for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. And Hook defeated Jack Perry for the FTW Championship in an FTW Rules match. CM Punk defeated Samoa Joe to start out the main show for the Real World Championship. Bullet Club Gold defeated the Golden Elite and Hangman Adam Page. FTR defeated the Young Bucks in their best of 3 series to retain their AEW Tag Team Championship. Eddie Kingston, Penta, El Zero Medio, and the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy defeated the Blackpool Combat Club, Santana and Ortiz in the, what is it called? The something stadium match, I don't know. Saraya defeated Tony Storm, Hikaru Shida, and Dr. Britt Baker Darby Allin and Sting defeated Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage in a coffin match. Will Ospreay defeated Chris Jericho. Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed capturing the Trios Championship by defeating the House of Black. And if you watch that House of Black introduction, I think they've done a great job paying tribute to Bray Wyatt. I'm sorry, I really enjoyed it, and that's as good as it gets. And in the main event, MJF defeating his new tag team championship partner Adam Cole to retain AEW's World Heavyweight Championship. Guys, that was a good pay-per-view. Little bit of trouble coming out of it, though. It seems like Jungle Boy Jack Perry got in CM Punk's face after some people told Jack Perry not to throw Hook through the windshield of that car. Apparently, Jack Perry ended up going through the windshield of the car, and Punk apparently tried to chastise him for it. Jack Perry got hateful, and Punk goozle piped him, and, well, you know how that went. According to what I heard, both parties are suspended pending an investigation. You know what? I got to say, if somebody tells you not to do something, it's probably for the better that you don't, because they've probably done it before. And there's a reason they don't want you to do it, probably because you'll get your damn self hurt. But anyway, that's all well and good. Guys, there's some events coming up here soon. Saturday, September 9th, Time Warp will have Val Venus at their Ashland Mall location. Guys, get out and see Val Venus. He's a great person, great guy to meet. On Saturday, September the 30th, World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling will have their Great Fall Bash 2 at the OUC Shoemaker Center in Chillicothe, Ohio. From 12 to 5, the Super Show starting at 7 p.m. Guys, I was at their Glory Days Bash back in March, I want to say. Maybe I'm wrong. March? Yes, that sounds right. It was a great turnout. I think Bobby Fulton and Dylan Hines have done a great job putting that thing together. Had some great stars there to meet and greet, and had a great time doing so. Saturday, October 5th, Time Warp, in conjunction with Appalachian Championship Wrestling and FTC Wrestling, will have their Bluegrass Wrestling Convention number 5. Guys, get out there and meet and greet those people at the Bluegrass Wrestling Convention, the Boyd County Community Center in Catlettsburg, Kentucky. That thing starts at 12 p.m. I was actually also at the Bluegrass Wrestling Convention number 4. It was a great turnout, good people, good time. Couldn't ask for better from Earl and his crew. Saturday, October the 14th, All-Star Wrestling, ASW West Virginia, will have their Halloween Mayhem show at the Madison Civic Center in Madison, West Virginia. The meet and greet starts at 5 p.m. You know, I've learned one thing about Gary Dameron and All-Star Wrestling. He does not disappoint the fans. He does everything he can to go out of his way to put on a good time and a show that is fitting for all walks of life, family, friends, children, young and old. And who is his special guest this go-round? Earl Hebner. That's right. Legendary referee Earl Hebner will be on hand to sign autographs, meet and greet the fans, and it is going to be a tremendous event. I look forward to that. You know, guys, there's nothing I couldn't do if I didn't have you all. And with that, I want to go ahead, and here is the answer to the A Look Back with Mike trivia from earlier on. As we promised, what wrestler replaced an injured Arn Anderson at the Wrestle War 91 match, the War Games match? The answer to that question, the living legend Larry Zbyszko. Guys, that was a good match. I actually watched it. But if you would like to send your question to A Look Back with Mike for A Look Back with Mike trivia, or if you have a show idea, please do so. We are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, X, whatever you want to call it. If it's social media, I'm probably on there. Just check it out, ALBW Mike. Link's right there. As always, again, Where would I be without you guys? I'm just glad we got some equipment worth dealing with. I actually like the way this sounds. I'm actually listening to myself right now through the monitor on this, and it sounds pretty clean. If you all think or have any suggestions as to what I can do to make it sound better, to make it sound more enjoyable, let me know. And with that, guys, we again send our heartfelt condolences, prayers, and sympathies to the families of Abe Jacobs, Terry Funk, and Bray Wyatt. Check those promotions out. I'll put the links in the comments for their upcoming shows. And remember, if you have somebody out there you deeply care about, tell them you love them, because you don't want to be like my audio and be colder than a girlfriend's heart. Those suck. But anyway, guys, it's been fun. I have had so much fun with you all. We've talked. We've had a great time. And as always, thank you for tuning in to this edition of A Look Back. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, until next time, so long from the Bluegrass State.